Hi there, Scott here. Welcome to the channel. If you say business class desktop, I would say Dell Optiplex. Optiplex is my absolute favorite business class desktop. I've been using the Dell Optiplex for over 15 years. I absolutely love these computers. I set up hundreds of these probably by now, and I'm overseeing quite a few of these every single day. If I have to describe the Optipex to a non-technical person, I would call this a Toyota or a Honda. Once you have this brand new machine, we set it up. I will put it out on your desk, and I will see you in 6 to 8 years. Sometimes these computers last over 10 years without any kind of problem. These usually come with a 3-year on-site warranty after a remote troubleshooting. I can't even recall if I ever had to call Dell and ask them for replacing a motherboard or a power supply or any of these components. Maybe it was one or two in this past 15 years. This thing is absolutely reliable and solid as it gets. Let me unbox a 7010 or lower end model today, and let's see what we have here. Okay, so standard Dell box comes with standard USB mouse and keyboard. If you have an option to customize the computer before delivery, I would highly suggest to opt this out. If you do that, it's going to be a $5 discount. If you ended up selecting a wireless mouse and a keyboard from Dell, Dell will charge you about $40. You can go to other sites and get a Logitech set for about $30. If you don't want to do that trouble, just go ahead and get the Dell wireless mouse and a keyboard for $40 or more. As soon as I unbox this usually goes to the trash right off the bat without even opening it. Maybe they're gonna keep the keyboard just in case, but since the wireless sets are so cheap and save you all that mess on the top of your desk without the cords, pretty much all my clients are preferring the wireless set. So yeah, this is, if you are lucky, gonna go to your recycle center. If you are not lucky, this gonna go to the trash and it's gonna be buried under the ground for years. The other box that we have here, it might look silly, this huge box. It has the power cord in it, and it has a little booklet about setup. Otherwise, it's empty. The reason why we have this and shaped like this, because this is actually keeping a computer in place during shipping. So the actual computer cannot move and dangle inside a box. Finally, I am happy to see that we don't have a full cushion in a box anymore. So finally, we have recycled paper cardboard. So this can be recycled nicely. We have this plastic bag, and then we have the 7010 in front of us. This is pretty much a basic office computer. If you need to do browsing, some third-party application, this is completely suitable. What's the difference between the lower end and the higher end? Let's see a 7010 and a 7070. I will show it to you in a minute. Let's get through what we have here. We have some old-fashioned USB ports, two of them in here, and we have a higher 3.1 USB ports here. We have a headphone out and a power button, and that's pretty much it for the front. We don't even have a DVD. DVD is optional. I think they will charge you about $60 to get a DVD ROM in a computer. We have a power supply. It's about 180 watt. We have two USB 3.1 and two USB 3.0. We have a network port, which I'm still heavily utilizing this. Every single business customer I have still have a hardwired connection. We have an HDMI and a display port, which is pretty good. Sometimes it depends on a model. You can get two display ports, or as you can see, there is still a cutout for VGA. A higher end model might have all three ports, or you have two display ports and one HDMI. So this is a lower end model. This is not a completely screwless design. You have these two screws in the back. Once you unscrew them, the whole front will be, or a whole machine will be accessible by pushing this panel away from you. And let's see what we have inside the machine. As you can see, everything is custom made in this case. These are non-standard PC parts. These are all Dell parts. We have 180 watt power supply. With a lower-end model, Dell is pretty frugal. It only gives you what you need to be able to hit the power button. We only have 2 slots of RAM, which is capable to handle 64 gigs of RAM, which is a lot for this basic level desktop. We have this custom cooling. It's an i5 processor, 13th gen, and we have an optional 3.5-inch bay where you can put a reducer in it, a SATA drive, and we only have 1 power cord in here, extra power cord and 1 SATA, and we have a set ready to go for a DVD-ROM in case you need it. I have less and less client who needs this stuff. Pretty much we walked away from the DVDs and CDs completely. However, this is business environment, so the requirements and features what we may or may not use is different. So again, anything needs to be replaced in this PC, that would be a call for Dell or a Dell order or maybe eBay. But these are, again, super reliable. Normally, what I do is set a computer up for a customer, close this down, put the computer out either on a desk or under the desk, and I tell them to see you in 6 to 8 years. I had a medical client recently who just replaced their Optiplex, I think after 11 years. So this is really a long-term investment. If you don't need anything fancy, as a matter of fact, I use this particular line as my home office until I started making these YouTube videos, and then I had to go up with a custom computer with a large video card, and obviously these are not suitable. The Optiplex line has 3 sides, has a tower. This is called a small factory form. This is my absolute favorite model, the SFF, the small factory form. Size-wise, this is a pretty good option. It's not too big, it is not super small, and performance-wise and price-wise, yeah, this is pretty good. Right now, it's $699. 2 days ago, this was $800, or 3 days ago. The price fluctuates at Dell. I am not affiliated with Dell. I'm not making any money to send you to Dell.com, but I had a couple times when a customer of mine went to Amazon, purchased a Dell laptop or a desktop, which was advertised as new. And in some cases, that was a new old stock. The warranty, a 1 year or a 3 year warranty, was already expired or used up mostly by sitting in a warehouse waiting for somebody to make a purchase. So just to avoid that, I would just say if you are committed to buy a Dell, just look at Dell.com. Either find a reseller in your area or just look for a best deal. Wait a few days, check the same product multiple times a week, and at one point there might gonna be 100, 200 or even more discount on this computer without being a holiday or any of that. So yeah. So this is a 7010. Again, this is a lower end model. So what's the difference between like a 7070 versus a 7010? So as you can see, this is pretty much a completely screwless design. Anything is removable, replaceable, has this blue colored either plastic or little sticker. So opening the case, we have no screws. This latch gonna go to the side. The front or top cover just comes off right off the bat. As you can see, we have a similar power supply. This may be a little larger output wise. And as you can see, this top in here, it's also screwless. So getting access to the memory or the solid state slots is significantly easier. We have these tabs in here, just like in a 10 model, a 7010. So this just literally comes off, and then there is a sliding bar. It literally just slides off. to the open position, then this just comes out, and then we have access to the solid state, and we have 4 slots and a 77, I think it's rated for 128 gigs of RAM, which is an overkill in my humble opinion. If you need 128 gigs of RAM to run something, you would probably not use this Optiplex. You would probably have a full size case, either a precision workstation, which is a higher or a precision desktop, or a larger desktop which can accommodate for a larger power supply and for a full-size video card. But yeah, so the other features what we are getting with the higher model, while this is handling DDR4, the newer model, I don't think it's called a 77 anymore. They just renamed the line. I think it's small factory form standard, and plus the standard or a 10 handles DDR4, while the larger model or a more expensive model, which looks exactly almost the same, goes on DDR5. We have a USB-C port in the front. And we have way more USB ports in the back. Usually this is also a serial port. You might laugh, like, who in a world would use a serial port? I would love to see us walking away from serial port, but I have a couple business clients whose printer custom machine is still communicating in 2024 on serial ports. So yeah, this is still a very good option to have. Yes, can you stock a card in it if you need to? Yes, you can. I have a lot of customers who does that, but if you're buying a computer for a specific reason and you need a serial port, I would definitely go with the higher model, which has the serial port built in. It's just it works in my opinion significantly better than the add-on card. It is I like it significantly better when it's already here integrated on a circuit board. This is just my preference in here. In a 77 or a higher model, you can have 3 video port. We have only 2 in here, but you can see we still have the PS2 mouse and a keyboard, and the serial port, and we have more USB ports in here, and a network card. So yeah, you got 4 slots, you got faster RAM, faster components, but if you just need a basic job, you can go with a lower model. I'm completely happy with that. As a tech, I like the screwless design. I like when things are just slapping in its place without using a screwdriver. If I have to upgrade a couple of these, no big deal. If I have to upgrade 40-50 computers, this definitely gonna save you some money on labor, but how many times you actually gonna do that in a life cycle of the computer? Probably 1 time, to be realistic, or maybe twice. But normally customer purchases with 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD for regular office use, and again, this machine will last for you to 6 to 8 years, no problem whatsoever. If you have any question regards of the Optiplex line or of Dell Business Class, let me know in the comment section. If you are thinking about to go with one of these, this is called a Dell Micro. I like them. To be fair, an i5 processor with 16 gigs of RAM, a 512 SSD, an i5, same i5. Obviously, this is a more power efficient i5 in here. 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD. If I have to work on this computer, just regular browsing and maybe files and Office, Outlook, and then I'm gonna sit over here and back here, I'm noticing like this computer runs slower. It's about 30% slower than this one. If you really low on space, desk space, you don't have a luxury, these are great. Also, this has another drawback in my personal experience. If there is a problem with the quality of the power, you have storms coming in and out, that definitely need the battery backup. This thing is more sensitive to that. Usually you have the amber light at the power light in here. You have to unplug the power cord, press and hold the power button, and that resets everything. Same thing true for the Optiplex, but if I have to do 10 of these, I might have to do 1 of that, or maybe none. This thing is super solid. Not only that, but let me tell you a story. A customer of mine had one of these Optiplex for like 5 or 6 years, and the employee was complaining that the computer every single morning it comes with a message that it wasn't shut down properly. It either had a Windows repair going on, and she said like, yeah, it's 5 years old, let's just replace this computer, let's get a brand new computer. So I set her up with a brand new computer, and a day later or 2 days later I got a call from the same client saying like, this brand new computer is doing exactly the same thing. I leave my computer on before I leave my office, and the next morning the computer has a message that it wasn't shut down properly. Why is the computer crashing? It has a repair again, the automated repair. So after some troubleshooting here in the United States, there are some wall receptacles which are controlled by a switch on a wall. This was usually for a light, when you can just leave the light on itself and you can turn that particular receptacle on with a switch on a wall, or the electrician was lazy and the light in the office is actually fed from a receptacle. So if you turn the light switch off, turn off the light, the receptacle went off. So same thing happened in here. That Optiplex was running for 5 years. It was just with a light switch at the end of the day when the employee went home, turned off the light in the office, it just made the computer lose power and crashed. And then when she came back in the morning, turned it on, computer was just booting up fine. And this was going for 5 years, and nobody noticed that this thing was actually just like shut it down with the power. It's been cut it off for 5 years, 5 times a week, no problem whatsoever, and still lasted. I cannot praise enough how well the Optiplex handles any of that. I absolutely love this machine. How about other brands like HP or Lenovo? Yes, HP can do a same quality. Lenovo, we sold quite a few of Lenovo's about 7 years ago. Similar machines, the thinner, not the full tower factory phone. I don't know what Lenovo calls those. I think they were the M600 or 700, something like that. They've been up and running for 7 years without the glitch. Yeah, the business class machine, really, really worth it. I don't know about custom, if the custom built computer would last 6 to 8 years without any problem, but these are definitely do, and they are very quiet, very efficient, super, super reliable. If you have any questions about Dell business class computers or any of that, please let me know in the comment section. If you could help me out with a like and a subscribe, I would appreciate that. The end of the year, before December, I had a little bit of game when I put some kind of information which you had to email me to my email address, and one of you got drawn after a while and got a laptop. So I got 2 more laptops to go, and at one point we're gonna start doing it again, and one of you will get a basic laptop just to stick in with all the way through these videos. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you at the next video. Scott's out.